Welcome to another fascinating tale into the African royalty. Today, we journey back into the Wanga kingdom. Here, we will unravel a story of a prince born into nobility but thrust into destiny no one could have predicted. This is not just a tale of a king, but of a young boy who was once abandoned by his family and yet rose to become one of the most legendary kings of his people. Stay tuned as you explore how tradition, cunning tales, and leadership skills shaped him into a hero for his community. Mumia was no ordinary child. He was born into kingdomship by the father, Nabongo, and the mom, Queen Wamanya. Seeing that he's brought up in the African society, so walikuwa wengi. And Mumia grew up with his siblings, but at an early age, he actually lost a lot of his siblings. Around 5 of them died, and nobody knew what was wrong or what was happening. Well, fearing for his life as well, the parents were a bit concerned, and there was a tradition that was being done by the Luya community. So what they did is they wrapped him up and threw him by the roadside. That is what they would do. Like it's a form, like they're trying to protect him from some evil spirits. So they wrapped him up and threw him by the roadside. In their kingdom, it was known as makoha, yani literally rubbish. Anyways, as fate would have it, nothing really happened to him. You can imagine a young kid wrapped and just thrown by the roadside, but nothing happened to him. What happened? There was this guy known as Abamia. Abamia was just taking a walk, and he saw this wrapped, thing, and he went to unwrap it and found it was a kid. Fortunately for him, alikuwa anajua maparents wa huyu mtoi. So akachukua mtoto, akamshika tu vizuri, and akamrudisha kwa wazazi wake. As he was returned home to his parents, now he was given a new name, Mumia Mumia. Anyway, as he was returned and, life went on, he grew up to be a young, hardworking man. He was doing what every other kid was doing. His life was not special, so he was heading cattle, taking care of his home when the father was busy doing other things. He was always trying to sharpen his skills with, proverbs and, knowing how to hunt and all that. But Mumia never grew to be, in an African society, if you ask anyone right now, they tell you they're looking for a tall, dark and handsome, well-built man. He never grew to be all that. He didn't have a strong physique, and that kind of made his parents, especially the dad, saw a lot of weakness in him because he was not built like, the other kids. But guess what? Life changed. At the age of 18, he actually shocked his community. Manze, he went and hunted both a lion and a leopard, according to, the legend. So, according now to how the father still saw him weak and all that, he decided not to give him the seat to the throne because he kind of felt like he was too timid. He had a tiny physique and people might not, listen to him or obey him. So he was trying to groom the other son to take the leadership position. Little did he know, there's always that person that is looking for you, in your family. Little did Nabongo know that the mom, Queen Wamanya, is actually also trying to, build his son up. She was really, really trying to mentor him, give him skills, because she knew that throne belonged to the son. Mumia had an elder brother known as Luther, and now according to how their culture was, Luther was supposed to succeed his father. But now the mother, knowing that maybe things will not turn out the way she wanted, she started inciting the husband, the king, Alikosa anamshow stories za, Luther is trying to always say bad things about your leadership. He's not the right person for this chair. You should listen to me. You should do this. And in fact, there's a time she even went ahead and told the king, Luther is always planning against you. And in fact, the fact that he hates your leadership, if he takes position, everything in this society will change. So please, my husband, just listen to me and let's make Mumia the leader. And well, women are very persuasive. So, vile aliambia the husband was like, okay, sawa, let me listen to my wife. She knows best. So eventually the king disowned his own son Luther because of what he was told by the wife. And that is how Mumia rose to the throne. Upon the death of the father, Mumia rose and was crowned the king. He was actually the 17th king of the Wanga kingdom. His reign was marked by a profound connection to tradition. He became the guardian of the sacred spear and the legendary copper bracelets said to hold mystical powers. Nabongo Mumia actually rose to be one of the best kings of the Wanga kingdom, and many people loved how he would guide them and lead them. His leadership was the best so far. Before his predecessors, people had not loved the king and all that, but when he came into power, people fell in love with him and how he rose and how he was running his business, because every time he would not make a decision without talking to the people, and that is people built some respect and thought that that was a really warm thing for him to do because of his status. However, as he reigned to be who he was, it coincided with the coming of the British people, and he was not a bad person. He actually corresponded well with them. He was working very well with them for the benefit of his people. And little did he know that the more they liked him, actually they were also planning to bring him down, because now people would listen to what he'd say. So if he'd say, if the British tried to penetrate and he didn't like that, he would just tell his people, let us not allow this and this to happen. And people would actually listen to him, and the colonizers were not comfortable with that. So, with the help of Osundwa, Mumia's nephew, the British brought him to his downfall. They stripped him of his, seat and gave it to the nephew, because he would rule with that hatred. He would force things to the people, and that's what they wanted. So Nabongo Mumia was not ready. He didn't know that this was going to happen, because he was just being nice to people. But because the British were not comfortable with that, they had to bring him down, and then now they put the nephew there and he started ruling. And that is how his downfall actually began. Immediately Osundwa became the successor, the power of the Wanga kingdom also weakened, and that is how it actually diminished. Nabongo Mumia's legacy, however, remained even after his death in April 24th, 1949. His influence was felt far and beyond, and actually when people came to bury him, they came from all angles, because he was a person who was loved by many. The incredible story of Nabongo Mumia, a king whose path was shaped by both fortune and cunning, whose leadership marked a significant chapter in the African story. From the boy who was cast away, to the lion-slaying prince, to the youthful yet ultimately betrayed king. Mumia's story actually reminds us that power and success comes from the most unexpected places. If you've enjoyed this journey into the past, do not forget to like, to share, leave a comment down below, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting African stories that are from our history. It was an awesome time, and I will see you again soon. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.